next question is, when you started writing this book, or before, or while you were writing this book, did you get harassed? Did anybody bother you?
I've been harassed, but I don't think for this book yet. I've been harassed because I testified. At least, see, I was driven psychotic by then. I recovered. I was driven psychotic, unbeknownst to me, 6 weeks. They started in on me after she died.
Lisa McPherson.
Yes, Lisa McPherson died. But the public did not know of Lisa McPherson's death till a year later.
I see. One question I have on that. Apparently, Martin Ratton says that David Miscavige was the CS for that case?
Earlier. She was psychotic twice. So on the earlier one, he was somewhat involved. And Marty said that he destroyed that evidence, which the district attorney down there said that it was after the statute of limitations. So it was okay for him to put that on the air, that he had done that he admitted that.
And when is it when the church started harassing you, and what did they do?
My phone clicks, especially when I talk to certain people. When the Lisa McPherson trial was going on, if I was ever talking to Bob Minton, I mean, we could hardly hear ourselves between the clips. The first call I made to Bob Minton, as soon as I hung up the phone rang again. And I picked it up, and I could hear in the background that this was a room with people talking on the phone. You know, there were people in this room. Yeah.
Like what they call it, boiler room type thing?
Like a boiler room type thing. And the person on the phone did not speak with me. Then they hung up. And I always knew why they did that is because they had Bob Minton's phone tapped, and they were capturing every connection. That's the statistic in espionage, is number of connections.
I see.
To the person that's the target, the SP, the enemy. So they wanted to know every connection that Bob Minton had.
And they did.
And they did. They found me. They got, when they recalled my number, that it then gave them who I was.
And that is when they came and nailed you and they started harassing you?
Their harassment with me was, say for example, there was one incident where I went to the supermarket and I come back out to my car and I look, and on the driver's side window is a business card. And I pull it out and it says private investigator, trained with the CIA, trained with this, trained with that, and I didn't think anything of it. You know, I just threw it in the back of the car because I hate those things. I don't want to litter them, but you know, so I just threw it in the car. The very next day, I made an unscheduled stop at a mall. Parked in the parking lot. And I come out, back to my car, exact same card, exact same placement. And I know that when they do one of these operations, what they want to know is, who does she call first?
Oh, I see. I didn't know that.
Oh, yes.
Is this what is called a noisy or loud investigation?
No, this one wasn't loud or noisy,
Okay.
because they weren't in my face kind of thing.
Because I had this happening to me one time. A friend of mine called me and she informed me that a private investigator, and she gave me the name, has been calling her and asking her if she knew me. And this was strange because the church was not supposed to know that we were friends and we were connected, because she was still in and I was out. And so she called me and she informed me, you are being investigated. And I thought, I don't care. You know, they had my whole life anyway.
See, right
so
there, that was a stat for them. That was a statistic for them. That was a new connection.
That my friend called me, and so they know. Would they know that my friend called me to inform me that a private investigator from the Church of Scientology was investigating?
Yeah, they would know. They would know that, and that would go on their little stat board. How many connections to this?
Well, we suspected that the church might be tapping on our phone, so.
But like I said, I don't care. I don't care. They can listen to whatever they want to listen to. I have a personal code of honor of never speaking an untruth.
Right.
And if I'm upset with a person, I try to talk to that person directly regarding that upset so we can clear the air.
The way it should be.
That's how it should be.
Okay. When you wrote this book, My Billion Year Contract, did you go through any emotions? What was going in your head and what was
I can
happening?
tell you the very first chapter that I wrote when I wrote that chapter, which is the worst day of my life. It's the day that we called it Opposite Day because my son was involved, which I've never put that on the internet before. But I was taken away in restraints in an ambulance to the hospital where I did not recognize my husband. And when I had to write that chapter, that was the hardest chapter to write. I had to actually go back there and be there and write it and remember and go through it as it unfolded, bit by bit by bit. Now, that day was, I had already been psychotic for 2 weeks, and they had not helped me. They had not helped me. And so I felt like they were inhumane. And maybe Captain Bill, who was a leader of the Free Zone in Europe, who spoke of the top levels of Scientology being taken over by aliens, the Markavians, that, oh my God, maybe he was right. Maybe these are alien forces at work here.
Okay, I have two questions before you continue. One of them is, of course, we now know that it wasn't the Markavians or alien forces or anything of like that. I have my speculations and I would like to share them with you. Of course, we know it was taken by David Miscavige, or he was assigned to be. Is he a puppet of somebody? Is somebody behind Miscavige?
No.
What is this?
Miscavige is the actual top of
Dictator.
the heap. He's the top of the heap. Him and his dog.
What's the next dog's name? Just for
I don't know the
trivia.
dog's name, but I just read that the dog was given a uniform and people were made to call the dog Sir.
Yes, I heard that a couple nights ago.